first-time caller, long-time listener. I wanted to get your guys' take on the UVA versus Richmond game. Richmond was able to upset Virginia. I'm curious, is this the downfall of Virginia? And does Richmond have a chance in the tournament? Thanks, Vladimir.
Game days here for the sport we love. Fast breaks, bar downs, and the day-old dunks. Darling, because it's time to roll. Face off, throw one, and get in the hole. Legends rise, it's the creator's game. This is college lacrosse game day.
Welcome back, fans, to another week of the Creators Game, the fastest podcast on 2 feet. This week we got Collins. They're going to be coming out of the box, shot out of a cannon. Think Paul Rabel in his prime, stepping on the field. We're going to go through the games coming up for this week, talk nail guns, talk betting. Let's do this. Week 3, come to us. Starting with the shot clock, our results from the games discussed last week. Friday the 14th.
UMass smokes Quinnipiac like crack. 19-5 Gorillas.
When you hear the name Petramala, start thinking Loda High laser beams. Carolina 9, Stony Brook 5.
Colgate cleaned Albany out like their toothpaste brand. 19-14.
Saturday the 15th, the rain and the Cavaliers were not enough to wash out the Spiders. Trouble in Charlottesville. Richmond upsets Virginia 13-10.
Army lock Rutgers down tighter than boot camp curfew. 9-3 Knights.
In the Ivy, there's an outlaw by the name Cornell Big Red. Cursed has a big iron on his hip. They start the year 1-0, beating Lehigh 18-10.
Delaware was well aware of how to beat St. John's. 17-10 Hens.
Every young defenseman should have watched this game in D.C. Georgetown 8, Penn 6.
The Statesmen stay within 7 of Michigan. 14-9 Wolverines.
Hopkins 9, Loyola 8. Baltimore needs their own bean pot for lacrosse. Let me know if you agree.
Notre Dame's offense had to go to confession after what they did to Marquette. 22-9 Irish.
As 6-goal underdogs, the Cats bully Yale 13-11 Villanova.
The Crimson hold off the Friars 12-10 Rhode Island. That's Harvard over Providence.
Dartmouth, the Big Green, beat up the Bucknell Bison 13-11 Morrill 16 saves.
Princeton ends it in overtime at Penn State. No announcers to tell us about it. 11-10 Tigers.
The Buckeyes blow by Air Force 17-11.
Maryland paid the CLG bar tab on Saturday. 11-7 over Syracuse in College Park.
The Stags are stacked, sexy, stout, and stunning through their first few games. They have Little Boy Brown 11-5. That's Fairfield.
Denver plowed their way through Utah in a few inches of snow. 10-8 Pios.
Sunday the 16th, 45 degrees in the rain on a Sunday. Yeah, give me the midshipmen. Navy tops Towson 14-10.
Hey Harvard, you guys might be smart kids, but you look really stupid in white tights. Colgate 19, Harvard 15.
Pennsylvania looked a little less stupid in white tights against Albany. Penn tames the Danes 14-8. Welcome back. Mike, boots on the ground this weekend in the Poole Family Dome of Geneva, New York for Hobart, Michigan. I mean, paint us a picture. How was it?
So it was a pretty simple picture. It was snowy and cold as shit.
Yep.
But we were in the warm dome. We had some good lacrosse, some good fans, and the boys in purple and orange, but it was white and orange with the mesh jerseys at home, which looked beautiful. Didn't get to pull it out, but saw some fight in them. Got some exciting things coming for the Statesmen this year. I feel an A-10 championship on the horizon.
Yeah. It was 8-5 late in the third. Michigan went on a run, and that's what Big Ten champions do. They go on good runs. It's a great team. I haven't been to a game yet, which is why I asked. I got to get out there.
We'll trip it up, Dan.
Yeah. We'll make something happen. Good weekend for us back here. Brett, some skiing?
Yeah, I was up at Mount Snow. We were supposed to get the storm of the century, but I think it ended up on Utah's field. Didn't get as much snow, just wind. Yeah, for any skiers out there, we were kind of bummed out, but we got one good day. So
it was a snowstorm on
Denver's
Microdose
field.
Sports. Yep. Yeah, Denver's field.
Correct.
Hayden.
Same shit, different freeway.
Good weekend, Hayden.
Good weekend. Yeah, watched a ton of lacrosse. Great setup. We were talking earlier. We finally got Flow Sports or Flow Live or whatever, so we have every single streaming service known to man now.
Yep.
It wasn't cheap, and it was a battle to get here, but we made it. Now we have as good of a viewing experience for lacrosse as you can on a Saturday. So
We got all the Infinity Stones, boys.
Yeah,
We did.
If you're in Boston, hit us up. We are the satellite. We are Starlink.
That's right.
We are whatever you need. All right, let's listen to some callers.
I was actually lacrosse. Is that game with the fucking fish stick there, the nets there?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Calling in. My name's Dan Arestia.
Pat Spencer Jr., if you're not committed to Maryland and ranked top 3 in your class, by the end of your junior year, I'll shave your head and I'll ship your ass off to boarding school in Alaska faster than Lamar Jackson 40-yard dash.
We're making our YouTube premiere. Mike's dressed beautifully. I tried. These guys, they look great. So, we gotta
got the first ever piece of
we
college
got on
cross
there,
game
Ian?
day merch. This was made last year, but
yeah.
we have more coming. This is like, one of one original by
It's from my mother.
Yeah, Dan's mom is a Christmas gifter, but it came out pretty nice.
Yeah, the plan is we have a link tree. We're going to populate that with some other stuff, including the YouTube links and the links to merch. Maybe a link to Bully Boy as well if you want to check them out. But yeah.
So to be clear, it's not, hey, let's get everyone's sizes and do some big order. Like, there's going to be a shop you guys can go on and order stuff right to where you live within a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
High quality merchandise.
Yeah,
What's on that store?
Yeah.
That's all we wanted.
We don't make a dime off anything. So
No.
It's called growing the game.
Yeah.
God damn it.
We don't make a dime off anything.
nope.
No.
Oh,
We should maybe rethink that. But for now, it's
We got to make some more sales.
the best deal you can get.
all right.
Yep.
Well, let's make this episode as good as we can, and maybe we can. All right, let's get some callers. First one. What do we got?
Hey, what's up, game day? Currently sipping my coffee right here on a nice chilly morning in Boston, but I'm gonna try to keep it as cordial as possible. But I think it's pretty clear that Coulter Mackesy is engaging in some satanic practices. I mean, this is fucking bullshit. I mean, this game against Penn State, it was so fucking clearly rigged, and I'm not high on the Princeton Tigers this year. I think that's my hot take. Number one frauds in the fucking Ivy League. Number one frauds in the country.
How can you say that after what happened?
Yeah, I disagree with that take. Who was that, by the way? Did you have any contact info on him or no?
This is from Upper Decky, our fellows.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting take, especially because they beat a pretty solid Penn State team. I agree that I kind of expected Princeton to go in and win by a little bit more, but given the circumstances, playing indoors, their first game, Penn State's third game, I'm not totally shocked by the outcome. I agree. Coulter Mackesy's a stud. I think what won him that game was their goalie. I think I'm blanking on his name, but let me pull it up here. Ryan Croddick.
Okay.
He had 22 saves. Right? 22 saves against anybody is good enough to win you a game. And that's with Princeton going like 20% on the faceoff. I think Penn State won like 18 of 24 faceoffs. So, Princeton's got some holes. I wouldn't call them fraudulent just yet, but that was a good win for Princeton. I don't know if I agree with that take.
It sounds like something personal against Coulter there, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it does a little bit.
Yeah, and I have a take on this game.
Friend of the podcast, by the way, Coulter Mackesy.
Coulter and Upper Decky Lax. Love those guys. I respect anything comes out of their mouths. Couple takes in this game. BTM Plus. What the hell? Like, that was outrageous what you did to us. Outrageous. We have a subscription. I pay you money. I provide you income. And you provide us Princeton versus Penn State, a top 10 matchup, one of our 3 games of the week. Unanimous. Any lacrosse media company, a game of the week. I can't see the numbers on the uniforms. I don't get a scoreboard with my stream. We're in the,
No announcers?
no announcers. There's no commentary. There's one camera. You're filming from the roof of the neighboring building.
It was a little bit blurry, too.
And-
Wouldn't call it high def.
That was bullshit. That was absolutely bullshit from BTM Plus.
Mhm.
I am pissed off. Another thing too is this: if you've played a game in that Penn State indoor facility, that place is beautiful. That is an unbelievable indoor facility to play a lacrosse game. They have bleachers that go 100 yards with fans. It is a perfect place to play a lacrosse game. There is a big screen between the boxes that you can actually see in the broadcast. Inside a football practice facility, there's a big screen. That is an ideal place to play lacrosse, and it's so unfortunate that they pulled that shit, BTM Plus. That is ridiculous. Every consumer should be outraged, and we're one of them because we have everything because we're the satellite. And that need to be said. Sorry,
it was borderline unwatchable.
Unwatchable.
Which it shouldn't have been.
You don't know the numbers. You don't know the Princeton scores, the black team scores, and you only know it's Coulter Mackesy because it's a low to high lefty laser, and you don't know what number it is.
It looked like a scrimmage. It looked like we were watching film from a scrimmage.
If that was a scrimmage, I would have been like, fine, this is great. I'd love to tune in for this scrimmage versus Princeton and Penn State, but no, it was a game they had uniforms on.
I'm glad I didn't get to watch it, boys. I didn't know there was no commentary either. That's kind of crazy.
It was disgusting. It was awful.
But the one thing I would say about Princeton is I didn't watch the game, but what I saw on the score sheet was their big three attackmen registered all 11 points.
Wow.
So my idea is if you want to beat Princeton, shut down their attack, which I know is easier said than done, but that's going to be the game plan going forward. And maybe that's why Princeton could be fraudulent if you can shut down those three.
Great point.
That's all I would say.
Great point. Next call.
Hey, gents, this is Brad Callis Bush here, a.k.a. Big Brad, uncle of the Jack Callis. First-time listener. Heard about your pod through my son, Birchley, who played his high school ball at my alma mater, Gilman, down here in Baltimore. He's a former Bad Boys Lacrosse Club player under Coach John Mathers. Anywho, I wanted to get a pulse on your thoughts on the Richmond Spiders this year. Obviously, they took down the Virginia Cavs, which was a highly touted team. My question for you guys is, are the Cavs a bust, or is Richmond loaded and ready to make a run in the tourney this year? I'll tell you guys one thing. This McCabe Millen fellow is just like his dad was back in the day. As soft as a baby's ass. Let me know.
What an ending to that. I did not see that coming.
From the editor's perspective, I don't think there could be a better call. Please prove us wrong.
That sounded fake. That sounded like an AI voice.
What was his name?
His name is Brad John Callis Bush.
And he's a father of
his father
Gilman grad.
Father of a Gilman grad.
Of Jack Callis. He was a guy a couple months ago, I think. He was like the Ravens fan who got in a fight.
Oh.
He attacked some other people on the sidewalk, some opposing fans. I don't know what team they supported, but yeah, he was a lacrosse player, so I think he's in prison now or something.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
And that was his dad.
Yeah.
And he thinks McCabe Millen is soft.
Okay, but what did he ask? He asked if Richmond is legit or if Virginia is low at a low point.
If it gets out there, if that becomes a storyline that McCabe's soft, it's gonna blow up. That'd be so funny.
I don't think he's soft. I think that's.
I don't think so either. But can't you I don't know. I'm picturing McCabe Miller right now, and soft wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know. I think he's even if you don't like him, he's a ball player. He's a competitor. He goes hard.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him soft. He's obviously an unbelievable player. I think his emotions did get the best of him in this game.
He'd admit that.
Yeah, I think he'd admit it too. But that's just typical frustration out of a competitor like himself. But to get to the point, I think Richmond surprised Virginia, and I think I wouldn't say I was necessarily surprised that Virginia lost this game. It was more so how they lost this game.
Yeah. They were dominated.
They were dominated by Richmond, who's, good. And I think, they've taken some big steps as a program. But, when you looked at Virginia, they really struggled on 6-on-6 offense, right? They really, really struggled. And it kind of seemed like the first time that they, didn't have Schellenberger and Cormier and some of these other guys that they've had the past few years that were so dominant individually. And it just felt like they didn't have anybody to initiate from, which was surprising because they had the talent that they need. They have Millen, they have Schutz, they have Thomas Menke. They have a lot of good Dodgers, but it just felt stagnant at times. And I think Richmond did a good job shutting down their transition and shutting down Millen, who loves attacking in transition and scoring goals in unsettled situations. And Virginia couldn't really do that. And then, Mike, I don't know if you noticed this, but Virginia's off-ball defense was not where it needs to be. They have studs on ball, and I think, there's, maybe a lack of leadership there. I don't think that's the issue. I think, maybe not playing Nunes and playing who was the goalie that played? What's his name?
Morris.
Kyle Morris. Right. I think maybe that contributed to a little bit, but, again, he's a sophomore and has, valuable starting experience. But yeah, I wouldn't say the alarm bells are going off for Virginia, but the way that they lost that game, that was the first time in a long time they haven't, looked immortal.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna hear about this game again. Let's get to the next call.
Hey guys, I'll keep it quick. It's John Hurley here. I'm going to Chili's in a little bit. We're closing it down. Do you guys think Maryland wins the Big Ten or Hopkins?
Thanks, Johnny. Johnny Hurley, Hobart alum, 23, 24 alum.
Yeah,
24.
He's closing down Chili's. He wants to know who's going to win the Big Ten. Maryland or Hopkins? Gun to your head right now. Who do you got to pick?
Maryland.
Yeah, I'd say Maryland too. They prove it this week. Brett, who would you say?
I'm gonna stick with Maryland. I feel like they just always play in May.
Mike,
that's my opinion.
I'm going Maryland too, but I would like to say it's probably more of a toss-up than it's ever been, especially with Hopkins, how good Hopkins looks and how good they've started the year. But I feel like you got to stick with Maryland.
And you can't
tried and true. They're winners.
Yeah, you can't pin it down to two teams either in that conference.
I just don't think we can bet against John Tillman anymore.
No,
right? This past week,
I didn't.
No,
I didn't. You were a fool if you took Syracuse -3.5. Fool.
That was pretty stupid.
Next call.
But
go ahead, Mike. What was your point?
Well, like you said, it's like we're talking about Maryland and Hopkins, but fucking Michigan could easily win it
2 years in a row. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear it.
Who's to say? Go ahead.
Dean, Mitty Back Vanderlander here. Just thought I'd buzz in and give my 2 cents on this past week of lacrosse. Anyway, now everybody likes to get all hype on their horses about that Joey Spalliner loss. Maryland over Syracuse. Who the hell didn't see it coming? If you didn't have your books set at +3.5 Maryland, I don't think you were feeding your family this week. Anyway, this is just what the doctor ordered for a man like Spalliner. A little adversity early in the season against a top team just to really kick his butt where it needs to be. Now, hell, I'm excited for what's to come out of the Orange, but do you think they've got what it takes to make a run?
Thanks, Dean. Dean Mitty Back.
Wow.
Love you, Mitty Back.
Dean knows how to deliver a message, man. Holy shit.
He does.
Pauses, everything.
Right. His delivery. Do they have what it takes to make a run? Syracuse. Right now, I'd say if I were to, put my money on it, they're far from my favorite to win a national title.
Yep.
Well, the sad truth is they're going to have to play outside to win a national championship. And until they prove to any of us that they can beat a really good team on the road outside, I'm off. I'm off of it.
Fair.
Yeah, I wouldn't count out Syracuse so quick. Look, we can make all the excuses in the world for them. They played in, tough weather. They're playing outside for the first time. They're wearing blue. They're playing a really good defense. I think, my biggest takeaway from that game was that Syracuse never really got the flow that they needed. Spallina, I think, had 2 and 2. Leo Johnson, who's been a stud all year, didn't record a point. A lot of the other guys who you're used to seeing, Finn Thompson, Luke Rowe on offense, right? They didn't really contribute much. I think it's a testament to Maryland and how strong their defense is. And I also think, I think Mathers was right. It's a little kick in the butt for Syracuse. I think it came at the right time. Was that Mitty Back?
Yeah.
It was Dean.
Dean Vander, sorry. I think it was a kick in the butt at the right time. It's what they need. And I think every championship team has that moment. It kind of depends on when. I think earlier the better for a team like Syracuse to really look internally and figure out what they need to work on. But yeah, I wouldn't count out Syracuse. I think they're a Final Four team. I don't, they might not be the 1 or 2 or 3 seed, but I don't think it really matters for them. I think as long as they get in the tournament, they can beat anybody. They can get to championship weekend, no question.
One other point he made, that line was silly. I thought that was a silly line.
Yeah.
It's Maryland.
It is. But people love betting against Maryland for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Can't do it anymore.
No, you can't. You're just going to
can't do it.
You're going to give DraftKings.
Who would do such a thing?
Your inheritance. All right, next call.
So, college lacrosse game day. How's the pod going, boys? Anyway, I heard this guy Paul Rabel talking about making the game more accessible to people. Well, why don't we start with the goddamn college streams. I'm paying $60 out of pocket to see VMI play Mercyhurst? You gotta be kidding me. Can't someone's dad just pay for the whole thing? I mean, that's what mine did for spring break. Cabo was sick.
He's got a point, and I made it earlier. He's got a hell of a point. The streams are ridiculous. They're bullshit. I'm BTN Plus specifically. That's the one. ESPN Plus, I think they deliver. I don't know how their business model works. It's different wherever you're watching a game, who's ever hosting it, whatever. Some are better than others. I don't think they control everything. BTN Plus, step it up. Step it up.
Yeah, BTN Plus has been all right. I think that last game, the Penn State Princeton game, really turned some people off.
The Syracuse Maryland broadcast was great. It was great. That was phenomenal.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's absolutely ridiculous how much you have to pay. We mentioned earlier we have all the streams, and I think it costs like, $40 a month, right? Like at least.
Yeah. We should rank this. We should do a Mount Rushmore of streams. We should rank the streams at some point.
Yeah. On that note, like we just got Flow Live. Those are actually high quality streams, and I think it's worth the $10, especially the games that they have on there. But like this whole Midcoast sports thing, Big Ten Plus not delivering. I don't know what else there is.
Lacrosse TV.
Lacrosse TV.
Cut out.
They had their own debacle.
Oh, it's just terrible.
It is just inaccessible.
What was the Harvard Princeton game or Providence game on?
That was Flow Live.
Great, great broadcast.
Good broadcast, yeah. But
that's good.
Freedom isn't free.
It's not free. You got to pay for it, and there's subscription costs. And they do the annual model, which is smart because I only want that thing for 3 months. Need it for 3 months. All right, next call.
Hey guys, just wanted to call in and ask about two teams who started out really hot and I think surprised some people a little bit. It's Fairfield and Lafayette. They have a pretty decent schedule moving forward, and I think that they could actually surprise some people. But I wanted to see what you guys thought about their upcoming schedule and how things might pan out within their respective conferences.
Great call.
Yeah, that was nice.
Great call.
Yeah.
More serious.
I mean, just two tough conferences, right?
That was Connor. Before you go, Connor Flood, Hobart and Albany alum, friend of the program. Great guy. Gave us a meatball right down the middle.
Number 49.
Yes, sir.
Shout out Connor Flood. Just two tough conferences, what I first think of, right? We're talking about the CAA and the Patriot League, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pulling up Fairfield. I'll get
so CAA, we got to win the conference, we got to beat out Towson.
Yep.
We got to beat out Delaware. That's my first two thoughts.
Yep.
Let alone Drexel and whoever else is competing there. And then, I mean, Patriot League's always tough. And we're talking about Lehigh, Loyola, Army, Navy, BU. It definitely seems maybe the Patriot League seems like a little bit more of a toss-up this year. It seems like a deeper or a steeper path to the championship.
Yeah,
but the CAA is just heavy at the top.
It's
really heavy at the top.
I'm looking at Fairfield's schedule. Honestly, face value, they've played their two hardest out of conference games, Lehigh and Brown, and they won both of them. Lafayette just had a tough loss to Drexel tonight. We're recording on a Tuesday. Yeah. So that was difficult. And forget who they play out of conference. In conference is going to be everything for them. Fairfield, though, they play Providence. That's a good out of conference game. St. John's, not a gimme. The rest of it's in conference. And, if they want to be in the tournament, they got to beat Towson. They got to beat Hofstra. They got to beat Delaware. So it's they got to make the tournament. That should be their goal right now.
Yeah. I think that Lafayette loss to Drexel tonight tells us a lot about Lafayette. They're a good team, but the Patriot League is loaded. Army, Loyola, Colgate's pretty solid this year. Lehigh, Navy, right? It's always a gauntlet. I don't see Lafayette, running through that. Maybe they're in the top half by the end of the year, but I just don't know. Too many unknowns about Lafayette. Really tough schedule. Patriot League's always tough. They always beat each other up. It's going to be tough for them to come out on top there. Fairfield, on the other hand, right, Dan, I think you mentioned it. They played Lehigh and Brown. 2 solid wins. I think their next game tomorrow night, Wednesday night, they're going to Sacred Heart, which is an underrated game. That's a big time trap game for them.
It's a rivalry too.
Rivalry game, in-state game. Sacred Heart is pretty solid this year. I think if Fairfield can pull that out, maybe in dominating fashion, it'll tell a lot about them. But yeah, after that, Manhattan, I think that's a win. Providence, that's another toss-up game. But Fairfield's a legit team this year. They're really fun to watch. They seem pretty mature. And and they have some studs, right? We talked about Julian Radishich last week. That
God,
guy,
he's so. I watch him now.
Beast.
yeah, he's a
beast.
sophomore, right? And he was
How could you not?
he was a CAA Freshman of the Year last year, right? Honorable mention, preseason All-American. He's a stud, and he's going to be a guy if he stays at Fairfield for the next 3 years. That's going to be a mainstay in the All-American list.
Who's the Lions defensive end? Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen him play lacrosse? Like his high school highlights.
It's probably terrifying.
They pull him up. That's what Radishich looks like.
Yeah,
who's in the field. Looks like an NFL defensive end playing defense at Fairfield.
That's a massive compliment.
Yeah. He's a top tier LSM defenseman in college lacrosse, right? Just because he plays for Fairfield and he kind of looks like a man amongst boys sometimes, right? He is as good as anybody at that position and a guy definitely to keep an eye on this year.
Beast. Next call.
Hey, College Lacrosse Game Day. It's Matt from the Green Line again, calling in again. I just wanted to talk about that Premier Lacrosse League goal horn. I'm sick of it. Listen to this shit. What the fuck is that? What the fuck? Makes me want to just... I'm gonna fucking do it!
He really hates the blowhorn.
He's not alone.
Great take. That thing sucks.
Did they have it in the
sounds like
championship series too?
Probably.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Too many goals.
No. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
What's wrong?
It kind of sounds like what's wrong with it?
Yeah.
It sounds like the start of like you're warning people the zombie apocalypse just started, or like.
Yeah, I think
like
it's
there's a catastrophic 7.8 hurricane coming or earthquake. Sorry, I don't know. I don't like it either.
No, and it's like
sucks.
I remember we were at we'll show this video at some point. We were at the first ever PLL lacrosse game ever.
Yep.
Opening weekend.
Don't remember a thing, but great time. And they did the blowhorn. I remember the blowhorn. They did it for the first goal, and then they did it for the second goal and the third goal, and then they did it the next week, and it was like, oh, this is their thing. And they've done it for 5-6 years now. And it's like, when the cannons score, I want to hear fucking cannon. I want to hear a cannon. When when the archers, I don't know, that's a bad one, but when the Atlas score, I want to hear like a bull. Like there needs to be a little more personality.
Yeah.
It's too much like.
I also don't even think you really need a goal horn, right? I think it's almost better to like play a song like whoever scores.
I was about to say, what about
song.
like specific player songs? Like Hayden has fucking Saving Me by Nickelback. That'd be mine, but
yeah,
that'd be pretty dope.
Would we hear it?
You'd hear it maybe once in my 3-year career.
3 years and out.
Yeah, 3 and out.
No, good take. I haven't really noticed it, but I haven't been listening, so I'll keep an eye on it.
It's kind of hard to miss.
Upcoming summer.
Vladimir, first-time caller, long-time listener. I wanted to get your guys' take on the UVA versus Richmond game. As you guys saw, Richmond was able to upset Virginia. I'm curious, is this the downfall of Virginia? And does Richmond have a chance in the tournament? Thanks, Vladimir.
Vladimir. Hey, grow the game, baby. It's in Russia. It's in Russia now. Great question from Vladimir.
Maybe our first international caller.
Yeah, that's a milestone.
Wow.
What a beast.
It came in from some weird number. I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, they weren't letters or numbers.
No.
They were symbols.
Symbols.
Backwards numbers and letters. Yeah.
It was a video of a guy wrestling a bear.
Yeah, exactly.
Do they have what it takes in the tournament? Someone needs to explain to him how it works and how you get to the tournament. I think he's close as a fan. He's watching games, which we love, but someone's got to explain, hey, if Richmond's going to play in the tournament, they got to win the A10, which is not an easy thing to do. They did it 2 years ago, not last year. Is Richmond the A10 favorite, Mike, right now as our A10 specialist?
Yeah. Right at this very moment, Richmond, it'd be, I think Richmond was the favorite to begin the preseason and then St. Joe's follow, and I think that's where you'd stay at the moment. St. Joe's hasn't proven anything yet, and Richmond has the biggest win by far out of everyone in the conference. So I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's early.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I think Richmond's definitely the favorite. I think they, probably will make the tournament. And they have some studs, right? Like Aiden O'Neill is a beast. If you watch him against Virginia, he just distributes. He's a confident player. Lucas Littlejohn was another guy I think we mentioned who kind of had a breakout game. but yeah, no, they're a solid team. They're well coached. They played Virginia very tough, right? That was kind of one of the surprising things about that game was how tough they played Virginia, right? They never really backed down, and they were kind of on top the whole game. And it's pretty impressive to see a team like Richmond against Syracuse not give up that lead and kind of get themselves into a trap, right? It shows that they're well coached, they're confident, they're experienced, they know what they're doing. So yeah, Richmond is a fun team. I think this is probably the best team they've had in a long time.
You were waiting for Virginia to score like 5 goals in a row,
right?
And they never did.
Yep.
I think they also just ran into a solid mid-major team in Richmond who has a history of winning, and UVA has all new faces. They're still putting it together too. Maybe they went in a little overconfident in that game. Who knows? But I mean, it's not like that crazy. This. If you look at that UVA team, there's so many new faces, especially on offense.
Yep.
So I think you really got to factor that in. And then also, Richmond defender Hunter Smith, number 6, he was on McCabe. He's a stud. And from what I heard from people in Richmond is they basically told the defense not to slide to him.
Wow.
He was just one-on-one in that matchup. This kid, he's an eraser, and he's going to do that against everyone this year. So that's also very important to have, plus a really good goalie in Zach Vieg, who I think had like 13, 14 saves in that game. So those are big factors.
Yeah. Hunter Smith, keep an eye on him.
Well, one last point on that. I think Dan Shamati, last time they played Virginia, or at least a couple years ago, he said that what it's going to take for Richmond to take that next step as a program is to beat Virginia at Virginia, right? Interstate rivalry. That's a big win for Virginia, for recruiting purposes, for in-state kids. For Richmond. Big win for them, big for their program.
Yeah.
Happy to see it for them.
That was the first thing I said. They just won 2 more 4-star recruits. 2 more big kids are going to Richmond after that win. All right, next call.
Yeah, this is Freddie calling in from 495 South in Bellingham. Only question I really have is, what the hell are you guys smoking up there? I mean, come on. You guys said this Providence team was fun to watch and well coached. I don't know about you, but I didn't realize having those brainiacs up in Cambridge come down and bend you over at home was considered fun. I mean, not only are they smarter than you, but harder than you, tougher than you, just better than you in every facet of the game. It's brutal. I mean, this Providence team wants to be relevant. They want to be put in the same class as their basketball and hockey programs. And every year it's just piss. Awful performance out of them. It's bad, and I'm so sick of it. God.
Good take. Who was that from 495 South, Bellingham?
He's from Bellingham. Well, yeah, he seems like he has a reason to hate Providence.
Expectations are high, I think, for their fan base. They have all the resources. They have, like he said, great hockey program, great basketball program. They don't have football. I think it's weird. It's a smaller kind of school, and the basketball players and the hockey players are future like celebrities.
Some of them, sure.
Yeah, some of them, not all of them. And then there's a lacrosse team who is fighting to be relevant, and I think they're having a great start to the year. Tough loss to Harvard, but I mean, we're New England podcast. We're rooting for them. I don't know. What'd you guys think of that game?
Yeah. That was a disappointing loss for Providence. I don't think Harvard is as good as they've been ranked and as advertised.
Just lost
in the preseason. Yeah, they just lost to Colgate
today.
Disappointing loss for Providence, who I think had a ton of momentum and a really exciting start to the season. I don't think this is, by any means the end of Providence. I think this was just a slip game. You're playing Harvard. It's a big opponent. It's a, borderline a rivalry game, I guess you could say. I don't know if they were intimidated or what, but it just seemed like they didn't perform at the level they have in the past couple weeks, which, wasn't great to see as a Providence supporting podcast. But I think Providence is a real deal. I think they have a good shot at making a run at the Big East. It's tough, but they did it last year, I think, with a lesser team. So I like where Providence is at. I'm excited to watch them fight back from this one.
And Hayden, that's all that matters.
Yep.
Is if they make a run at the Big East. Because at the end of the day, as much as we want Providence to go undefeated and getting at large, they're not. So learn from the loss to Harvard, win the Big East, which is you got to beat some really good teams there. Denver, Georgetown, to name 2.
I mean, one goal away,
win there.
An overtime goal away from beating Georgetown in the semifinal last year.
Yeah. I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, this game doesn't mean much for them. Obviously, it would have been great for their confidence if they won. But, I think they can kind of throw this one away and move on.
One more call? Why not?
Joey Spallina, what happened? I'm just fucking with you guys. You had two pretty good snipes there. Listen, I tried one of these Zinnichitos for the first time. I was fucking buzzing like Buzz Lightyear, let me tell you. But, yeah, pretty disappointed with Cuse, but they'll bounce back.
Someone's got to tell that kid to stop sending.
Where's that kid's parents?
Yeah, stop sneaking Tito's and stuffing Zin in. He probably went for a ride.
Oh, yeah. I don't really know what to say about that. Tough game. I thought Spallina played pretty well. I guess he is kind of garnering a reputation for maybe getting shut down in big games against big opponents. I don't know if he got shut down. I think, he wishes he could have done more. But, he played all right. He kind of did his role. I don't think he elevated the guys around him like he has in the first 3 games of the year. But, he's Joey Spallina. He's the real deal. He's gonna take this one as motivation.
He's gonna get heat for that. He's gonna get heat for not scoring a bunch of goals against Maryland in a big game that everyone's watching. And, he's gonna wear that. He's wearing the 22. He's at Syracuse. He's their guy. So it comes with the territory.
I mean, massive expectations, Dan. 100%. And, I mean, he was against, Will Scheller, who's Maryland's guy. And from what I saw, again, I was at a game, but from the highlights, it looked like he scored 2 goals dodging him man-to-man, which I think is a good step for him because I feel like that's his biggest knock, right, is you can't beat, the big-time defenders. So, but I think the other, issue for Cuse is it seems like let Spallina beat us, right? If Spallina's scoring 2 goals 1v1, we're shutting everyone else down, then we're going to win the game. That's kind of what I'm starting to think is maybe the kryptonite of Cuse is if you can make Spallina beat you 1v1 and score goals, you're going to win.
And it's tough
maybe that's a scout, but
yeah, it's tough to move the ball like the Harlem Globetrotters, like Syracuse does sometimes when you're not beating your man, and Maryland's challenging you to beat your man to score goals. So maybe that's the recipe for Cuse. Make them score 1-on-1. It's a good segment, boys.
That was good.
Good call-ins. Thank you. Keep them coming.
Just a reminder, follow us on Instagram, cue into YouTube, and also check out the merch through our link tree. We're excited to keep it going on YouTube and pushing these out.
Water guns, that's a birthday party. That's a birthday party thing. A nail gun.
For children.
A nail gun puts a nail in something, and it stays there for 30 years. And it does, and it keeps it there. And these nail guns are keeping their programs on top.
Our next segment is the Bully Boy Distillers Nail Gun of the Week. Bully Boy Distillers introduces Blended in Bond, which I have on our left, your right of the table. Masterfully crafted blend of their finest bonded whiskeys, aged to perfection and bottled at 100 proof. Dan, is that accurate? Check out the label for me. 95. Close enough. This bond, smooth expression delivers rich caramel, spice, and oak notes with a warm, lingering finish, crafted in strict accordance with the Bottled and Bond Act. It is a testament to the quality and tradition, perfect for sipping neat or elevating your favorite cocktail. Thank you so much for Bully Boy. Happy to host him on the show. Hayden, who do you got for our nail gun?
My nail gun is anything but warm and elevating. My nail gun this week isn't actually a person or a team or a coach or whatever. My nail gun of the week is Mother Nature. Mother Nature was a cruel mistress this past weekend. I think we saw it across the board. We saw it in Maryland. We saw it in Denver. We saw it at Villanova. We saw it across the board on the eastern seaboard, up and down the East Coast, all the way to the West Coast. The weather was horrible this past weekend. Absolutely horrible, right? It makes you question why we are playing lacrosse at this time of the year, right? Everything, your training, your conditioning, your mental capability changes when the weather was the way it was this past weekend, right? The only thing that the weather reveals is your character and your culture, all right? And some teams this weekend let their culture shine through, right? I think of Maryland. I wouldn't call them more talented than Syracuse. I wouldn't say they're better coached. They get better recruits, right? They have no true advantage on a team like Syracuse. But when the weather shuts your skill down and shuts your talent down, the only thing you can hang your hat on is culture. And I think the teams that won this weekend showed that their culture is just a little bit stronger than their opponents. We all have to embrace the suck before we can get those beautiful May games, 70 degrees and sunny. You gotta embrace the suck of the weather. You gotta get through these. And the teams that can get through these are the ones that are gonna reap the benefits of playing in May and have the least amount of regrets. So
yep.
Mother Nature, nail gun of the week. That was a hell of a weekend for lacrosse. Had some interesting finishes, interesting scores. I think some underdogs won some games because of their toughness and their culture. And that's what lacrosse is all about. It's who shows up ready to play, no matter the conditions. There's only so much you can do to prepare. It's who shows up ready to go for 60 minutes.
Mike, how you feeling over there listening to that speech?
We're going to run through a fucking brick wall.
Yeah, good.
You want to be Dan, and you've heard this a million times, you want to be a 30 and rainy team, not a 75 and sunny team. Because those are the teams that win when it fucking matters.
Yep.
You don't go to Hobart, you go to Tampa. If you're that kind of team.
Yeah.
You go to Jacksonville.
That's Hayden, well said. Well said. I want to hear that edited with some inspirational music over it in the locker room.
Can't wait.
Of millions.
If I were you two, I'd go up to Geneva and rip that dome down tomorrow.
Put a nice dagger through the pool family dome.
Me and Dan will just do 1v1s in the fucking snow and on the ice on the bars where you're supposed to do it.
It'd be a gruesome sight for
on the 5 and 20.
Yeah, for statesmen and herons. All right, all guts, no glory. There are some other stories we want to make sure we cover for all guts section.
All guts, no glory.
All guts, no glory. Who we got? Nice intro for our all guts, no glory segment. We're 8-8 last week. That's got to be better, no question. So here we go. Let's see if we do any better. Hayden, Mike, as our analysts and our coaches, you guys each have a timeout during this segment. If there's a game you'd like us to pause and make a point on, talk about for a minute, take your timeout. We'll pause. We'll give you 1 minute. Maybe we'll chime in from the other side. But you each have one timeout. It's in the bank. Don't waste it. Saturday the 22nd, Utah at Vermont. The Crew is taking Utah in this one. They're going to go on the road, get it done at Vermont. Then we have Providence at Brown. The Crew is taking Providence.
Next we have Bryant at Quinnipiac. We're going Bryant with that one. Bucknell at Hobart. We have chosen the Statesman.
Villanova at Colgate. We are taking...
Pause
or timeout?
Timeout.
Timeout. Call it.
Timeout. This is just one of those games that I think everyone really didn't think twice about at the beginning of the year. If you're a fan of Villanova, you're a fan of Colgate, you're just a fan of lacrosse, this game didn't really say much to you. But after what happened today with Colgate beating Harvard and Villanova beating Yale, this becomes a very interesting game. One team's going to continue their momentum. The other is not.
Yeah, great out-of-conference mid-major game. After some huge wins, Pennsylvania goes to Delaware. The Crew is taking the University of Pennsylvania.
UNC at Hopkins. Great game, too. We're taking Hopkins with that one. And then we have Richmond at Lehigh. We are taking Richmond.
Loyola at Rutgers. Crew is going with Loyola. Virginia at Ohio State. Give us Virginia.
Sacred Heart at Stony Brook. We are taking Stony Brook with this one. And then we have St. Joe's at Towson. We're going the Tigers.
Interesting out-of-conference game here. I feel like I'm going to get a timeout from Fry. Harvard at Syracuse. The team is taking Syracuse. Navy at Penn State. We are taking Penn State almost unanimously. And then Tuesday.
Tuesday we got Cornell at Hobart. We are choosing Cornell in this matchup.
Okay, I didn't use my timeout there.
You can't. It's use it or lose it.
Okay.
Game's over.
All right, well, I'll use it now. Big D3 game.
What was your plan there?
I
think he was being strategic.
We were all waiting for it.
I was gonna use it for Providence Brown, but that was the second one you mentioned. I thought I was gonna screw up the flow. So let me go back to Providence Brown.
All right, fine. We'll change the rules for you.
This is a huge game. Brown needs a win. They're 0-2. They lost to Fairfield. They just lost tonight to BU in a heartbreaker. Providence also needs a win. They're 2-1 now, right? They're a team with some momentum that just got, some of that momentum taken away by Harvard. This is an in-state battle. One of the 3 games of the Battle of Rhode Island. This is always a huge game. I would actually love to be at this game, but I'm not going to be able to make it because I'm going to be at a better game this weekend. Is Brown going to take a step forward? Is Providence going to take a step back? Right. This is a huge game.
What game are you going to?
I'm going to Union at Babson. So the D3 season is really starting to kick into gear this weekend. Union's coming to Babson. It's one of 2 games where 2 ranked opponents are playing each other. Union's preseason ranked 19. Babson is 20. Those might have got shifted around this off the most recent rankings, but great game. Always a good game. I'll be there in attendance. Going to be a great crowd. Just want to give a shout out to Union this year. Looking for them to win the Liberty League and make a deep run in May. So excited to watch Union. Also excited to watch Babson. A big transfer portal destination for D3 now. A couple St. Lawrence guys, a couple Union guys on the team. So going to be a really fun matchup. I'm excited to be there.
Our D3 engines, you know who you are. You're shoveling coal into the fires and the bottom of the Titanic to keep it going. That's who you are for our podcast. There's going to be more D3 talk this year. Don't you worry. And, let's not sprint over Cornell at Hobart on Tuesday. Oldest rivalry in the sport of lacrosse. Hobart's going to shock the world. Go Statesman. We're very lucky, to say the very least. These are our games of the week. We have 3 games of the week. Our games of the week. We're just fired up to present to you our games of the week. 3 games of the week. First one is cinema. It was last year. It's going to be this year. It's at 11 a.m. on Saturday. It's on ESPN+. It's Denver at Cornell. I'm excited to watch the best player in college lacrosse compete at his craft. And I'm excited to see Denver come to the East Coast to play a game for once.
Yeah.
I want to start with Mike in this matchup. I see you have in your notes here Free Hill versus Cursed. That's a tongue twister. But in all seriousness, this could be the best matchup maybe of the young season so far. Who do you think is going to win it?
Great question. I think Denver plays more as a collective than individual. I think that Curse is going to win some of these matchups, but Denver's going to support him well.
Yep.
There's always that layer. I think Denver does a really good job of sliding, supporting each other. So it's going to be a 50-50 battle in my opinion. I haven't seen Curse play yet this year, unfortunately, but I'm sure he looks fantastic. I think that one of the most exciting things, right, is this game's at 11 a.m. So it's before all the other games. You don't even have a fucking excuse to not watch this game.
You don't.
So now you get to watch the Torton favorite play against one of the more underrated defenders in NCAA Division I lacrosse in Jimmy Freehill. So, like Dan said, this will be one of the first premier matchups that you can watch. You have no excuse not to. Give it a look for sure. It'll be fun.
Yeah, Mike, I agree. I think it's going to be a great game. We don't really know too much about Cornell, right? We know they're loaded. We know they're preseason ranked 3 or 4, whatever they are. But I think that win against Lehigh didn't tell us much. Really, for them, it was a perfect test, perfect opening game to beat, a pretty respectable team and win by as much as they did. I think Denver, may have some identity issues this year. They haven't been blowing teams out of the water. Tough loss to Hopkins week 1. Obviously play a tough schedule, and that win against Utah last week was a good win. I think they have some issues in net. Malcolm Kleben was their guy going into the season. He didn't play against Utah this past weekend. Granted, their backup, Grayson Manning, played a fantastic game and was a big reason they beat Utah. But a lot of unknowns for Denver, and I think Cornell has the experience, and they know how to win and win a game like this at home. So I agree. I'm excited to watch it. I think Cornell's gonna win this one, but you never know. Denver could surprise us.
What's your guess on the spread?
4.5.
Mike?
I think it is 4.5.
Yeah, bingo. Hayden nailed it. Cheater.
Not cheating.
And definitely cheater. And Hayden mentioned it. It is really important. The goalie that it probably will be playing in this game for Denver is a true freshman. He was the number 65 ranked inside lacrosse, top 100 player this year.
Yeah.
He had 16 saves, but this is a bigger test than Utah. It just is. Utah's a great team, but this is like a bigger in the lights game. So that'll be very interesting to see who they start, if they do start him, how he plays against a very good Cornell offense.
I think all the eyes are on Cornell's defense. Like, I think everyone thinks no one has questions about Cornell's offense. Everyone has questions about their defense, and the reason is because they're a national champion favorite for a lot of people. And if they're going to do that, they need a stellar defense. And it's been getting better year by year, but is it enough in 2025 to get it done? Their offense isn't going to be the reason they come up short this year. It's going to be on the defensive side of the ball. We could talk about goalies, we could talk about faceoffs, but can they prevent other teams from scoring goals? I don't know. They have a lot to prove. And
that they do.
You sure as shit better guess that I'm calling out the guys who were on this podcast from Lincoln Suburb last year, Kyle Smith and Matt Dooley. They're going to be wearing the Cornell Big Red, playing defense for them, and I wish them all the best. But national champions, they step up. They got to step up.
Definitely.
Yeah, a lot of other guys too. I love you too. All right, let's move on. Second game of the week, Maryland at Princeton. This is a game last year that Maryland dominated twice. This one is at 12 p.m. Eastern. It is on ESPN+. Big Ten versus Ivy. Second week in a row that Princeton is going to play a Big Ten team. I hope the broadcast was better. Princeton, 2 weeks in a row over a Big Ten team, Hayden? Is that possible?
Certainly possible. It's hard to say the biggest test that Maryland's going to have, but I think going on the road to Princeton holds just as much value as playing Syracuse at home. Princeton is loaded this year, right? We talked about their attackmen in Mackesy, Kabiri, Burns. They're the real deal. I think Maryland showed that they can take good players out of a game, right, and limit all six guys on the field doing something. It's going to be tough for them to limit those three attackmen, but yeah, I think the biggest issue with Princeton this year is faceoffs. And it's been that way for quite some time. I think for the last 12 years, they haven't been over 500 facing off, which is kind of a mind-blowing stat if you think about it, and think about their ability to recruit and get a guy in there who can win some faceoffs. They have Andrew McMeekin at the X this year. He struggled against Penn State, which was surprising to hear because they brought in Casey Dowd from Colby, who was a former professional faceoff man. He's working strictly with the faceoff unit, and there's been a lot of good press about him. I'm working with his guys and kind of growing their confidence a little bit. But McMeekin struggled against Penn State, and I think that's the reason why it was so close. So I think if Princeton can win some faceoffs, if they can get close to 50% at the X, they have a real shot at winning this game. I think being at home is a huge advantage for them, and they have depth, right? We talk about these three attackmen, but their middies are loaded too. Historically, for the last couple of years, one of the best recruiting schools in the country. Top 5 every year. They're bringing in top 5 classes every year. Second game of the year. Maryland's got a little more experience under their belt, but I think Princeton can do it.
If I'm just going to point out a quick stat. So 2024, they were at a win percentage of 50.8. So pretty close, Hayden, around the 50 mark. And I also dug back a bit more. It said McMeekin last year was 55%. So he might be off to a bit of a slower start. But maybe it's the second guy. If he gets violations or whatever, that second guy might be losing. So maybe it's depth.
Yep. Mike, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, at least my focus will be, Maryland upset Cuse, right? And how did they do that?
Upset.
They did it, right. Hilarious.
Yeah.
They did it on the defensive end, right? They shut down Cuse's offense. So I think the main thing that's going to determine this game is, can Maryland, or more so can Princeton, win their attack matchups? Can Kabiri, Burns, and Mackesy win their matchups? And more importantly, can they figure out McNaney, who had a 63% save percentage against Cuse? When he gets hot, the defense builds around him, also gets hot, and they're tough to figure out. So I think you gotta attack early. You gotta get McNaney on his toes, and attack that way. So that I think that's very important in this game.
Who's Maryland's guy defensively? You said his name earlier.
Yeah, it's
Schaller.
No, maybe it is Schaller.
Keithler is their guy on faceoffs right now.
Yep.
He went just over 50% last week. God, Weirman, that's a big gap to fill, man. He was a stud. He was a friggin' beast. Yeah.
He was.
But Maryland, no, I asked because Maryland's just prided themselves on defense forever, and just knowing who their guy is, like, doesn't matter what his name is. Maryland's top defender is a weapon, a nail gun.
Schaller will be on Maxey, and he looks good. He looks like another, like you said, they always have good defenders. He just looks like another gritty, strong, tough Maryland defender.
Right. They trust their matchups. They got Maryland clearing the ball. They just never make mistakes. They never turn the ball over. And as a fan watching, you never feel like they're in jeopardy of losing the pill. Our last game of the week, huge upset last year. Notre Dame at Georgetown. I think, everyone's going to take Notre Dame in this game, but I think it deserved a game of the week spot given what happened last year, Georgetown's potential, Notre Dame finally facing a real opponent. And, Notre Dame, you start late. Your first game's against Cleveland State, and then you play Marquette. And now it's, the end of February, and now you're playing at Georgetown. Their schedule after, there's no cupcakes in their schedule after this. It is, any win for any team in college lacrosse after this game is against Georgetown too is a phenomenal win and a great win and a marquee win. But come on, defending back-to-back champs, play someone. And now they're playing someone at Georgetown. It'll be interesting to see the new Notre Dame team have to adapt and figure it out and overcome some adversity against a good Georgetown team. This one's at 12 p.m. on Flow Live.
Yeah, I think on their schedule, Notre Dame only plays 11 games in the regular season, which is crazy, right? And none of them are cupcakes. Other than Cleveland State?
What's the sweet spot for games? Because I feel like Duke, it's stop. You guys are just stat padding. But and then there's Notre Dame plays 11.
Yeah, I think 13, 14 is typical for most teams. I think if you're Notre Dame, you're why would we play more games, right? We're just risking ourselves of getting hurt and burning out. I think they're going to play an extra, couple games in the ACC tournament and an extra couple games in the NCAA tournament, right? So really they're going to end with 16, 17 games, and I think that's kind of their mindset behind scheduling like that.
Sure.
But with such a small schedule, right, every game means something. We know what happened last year. Georgetown beat Notre Dame. Maybe it was a good thing for Notre Dame. You can't say it wasn't. But, really when I look at Notre Dame this year, I think there was questions about, are they going to be able to replace some of the guys that they lost? If you really think about it, they lost Pat Kavanaugh and Eric Dobson, and obviously a couple other guys, but
Entenmann.
I really think that they're number one in the country, and there's a pretty big gap in between them right now until they're proven wrong. And you guys might disagree with that, but I still think they're untouchable. I think they reloaded, and that's what great programs do. I think Notre Dame is a real deal, and I would be very, very shocked if Georgetown upsets them this year. I know they're going into that game saying we're not letting that happen again.
The line just came out. It just came out.
Really?
What is it?
It's Georgetown +6. It was +9 last year, Georgetown, and they won. +6 this year. Before we talk about that, Mike, let you talk about the game.
That's such a big line. What makes this game so exciting, like you said, this is the two-time national champions. That's their first test. Georgetown's a good team. They've proven it. They have one loss to a good Hopkins team, and they played 3 games. Yeah, but I think there's 2 really good matchups in this game. I love talking about matchups.
Mm.
I think there's two Schmeiser candidates on both sides of the ball here. One being Ty Banks on Georgetown, and the other being Sean Light on Notre Dame. People actually think Sean Light is the favorite this year over my boy on Penn.
Both sophomores.
Yeah, which is impressive.
Yeah.
Both sophomores, both the future. They're going to be top 10 PLO draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Their senior year, 5th year, whatever they do. But Ty Banks will be obviously on Chris Kavanagh. This will be Chris Kavanaugh's first time playing a good team, being the number 1 guy. His brother did it last year. He got all the number 1s. Now Chris is going to get it against
a
very, very, very good defender in Ty Banks. Chris Kavanagh already has 6 goals, 7 assists in 2 games. Obviously, they played shit teams. Marquette's not a shit team, but compared to Notre Dame, they are.
Fair.
But I would say too, Sean Light also on Carroll for Georgetown. That's another really good matchup to watch.
Yep.
First time you get to see Sean Light do his thing. And Carroll and Georgetown's offense are trying to figure it out on their end too. So this will be a good test, and it'll be really fun to watch.
Flow Live too. Great broadcast.
So it's at Georgetown.
It's at Georgetown.
Okay.
I think this brings us right into our Feed the Family section. And we need to give our listeners a pick we feel good about. So not every line, we're Tuesday night right now. Not every line is out, but we're going to run through what we have and just talk and give you an idea of lines, if nothing else. Over-unders are big too. I'd update on Dan's betting.
Let's hear it.
He's doing pretty good.
Careful.
He's doing pretty
How's
good.
Dan doing?
No, I'm careful. I'm careful, but we keep receipts here. Yeah, put $30 into DraftKings before last Saturday. End of the weekend at 60. Betted every penny. This weekend, I'm now at 125. So
high roller.
Now I'm a high roller. Wasn't to begin with. Now I'm a high roller. I'm going to bet all of my
triple digits.
My 125 that I have in there now. But I'm hot. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. I'm hot right now.
Follow you, Dan. But Dan, hey, to make your life easier, I know we don't have too much for Saturday.
Shoot.
All right. Denver plus 4.5 at Cornell. Michigan plus 4.5 at Duke. And Notre Dame at Georgetown plus 6. Those are the three.
Georgetown plus 6.
I saw.
Georgetown plus 6. I mean, you're just taking, I feel like you're taking like the best, like some of the best games and just taking a good team and saying, I think they're going to keep it close, which is maybe that's your strategy.
You're taking the best underdogs.
I'm going against the spread here for sure. Yes. These are good teams that can easily cover. To be said to everyone listening, it's 8:53 p.m. on Tuesday night. We don't have all the Saturday lines.
A lot can happen.
These are the best ones. These are the best ones that I have seen so far, in my opinion.
A lot can happen for Saturday. Let's just go through the rest of them. Mount St. Mary's 7-goal underdogs at UMBC. That's Friday the 21st. Saturday, like you said, Denver 4.5 underdogs at Cornell. Penn 2-goal favorites at Delaware. Michigan 4.5-goal underdogs at Duke. Notre Dame 6-goal favorites at Georgetown. North Carolina 1.5-goal dogs at Hopkins. Great game. Maryland 1.5-goal favorites at Princeton. Virginia 4-goal favorites at Ohio State. Navy 4.5-goal underdogs at Penn State. That's all we have to go off of.
I kind of like Virginia -4 against Ohio State.
Same. It was the first thing I thought when I went through this.
I think they're hungry. I think they have something to prove. Ohio State's down this year.
That's going to change. That line's going to change.
Yep, I would take that now.
I'd say hop on it for sure.
What else?
I like it too.
What do you guys think about Delaware Penn? I know I bet the spread on this last year.
That one's scary.
And that was a tight one.
Dude, Penn looked good tonight.
Penn looked good. They moved the ball really well. Really well.
Delaware's good too, though. Delaware's good too.
Yeah, that one scared me, but I bet on it last year, and it was like wicked tight.
Who won the game? Did Delaware win this game last year? Did they play? Why am I thinking them, St. Joe's, and Delaware always play each other? I might be thinking of another team, but
they absolutely played. I just remember it being like it was like a
1-goal game,
like a 2-goal spread or something. I was in the car when I was watching it.
Let me try to find that. We got.
I love Denver plus 4.5 at Cornell.
Yeah, Mike, that one's interesting to me.
I really like it.
Yeah, I just
Denver to me just isn't a team that's going to lose by more than 4 goals.
They've played more lacrosse. They played
good lacrosse.
They played Hopkins.
They played good lacrosse.
I think I stumped ChatGPT. It doesn't remember the spread of Delaware Penn last year.
Yeah, Mike, I like Denver plus 4.5 as well.
I like Penn -2.
That's what I was getting to.
Yeah. Michigan at Duke. I don't know. Duke kind of laid an egg against St. Joe's. I feel like they can come back ferociously, but more lines are going to be out very soon. Navy 4.5-goal underdogs at Penn State. They were 3.5-goal underdogs against Towson on Sunday. Won by 4.
All right, so do we have a top 3?
I think we have one pick that we all like right now, and I bet the line's going to change. Virginia -4 at Ohio State. Ohio State played Notre Dame pretty tight at home last year, early in the season. I could see like Ohio State, a 2-goal game. Ohio State's like, yeah, like we did it. We played Virginia tight. But I think Virginia now that they got that big win tonight against High Point, now they're back to the party, back to the Lax House. back drinking again, right? We're Virginia. We're sick.
Beer bongs.
We play Ohio State.
My thought is they struggled. I know inclement weather, first test against Richmond, but Ohio State's defense is really good. And this is going to be a really big test for UVA's offense. UVA is going to win. I'm just a little nervous about the spread is all.
Well,
yeah.
Personally.
I've watched Ohio State play this year. They don't ride. That's all it has to tell me about that game.
Okay.
What's your scout on Ohio State?
They don't ride.
That's all you need to know. All right. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it. Enjoy Lax. As Brett said, follow, like, all the good stuff on social, the podcast. Also, biggest takeaway, merch. We need you guys to rep our stuff around and get the word out that lacrosse media, college lacrosse media has arrived. It's here. And game day is coming soon. So enjoy. Thank you.